Welcome to SVG-TV News from Tuesday, April 12, 2016. I'm Lafern Fraser with the details. President of the Canouan Island Development Council, or the CIDC, Terry Bino, believes that he and his organization are being slighted. This after a meeting yesterday with government officials in regard to the ongoing issue of beach access for residents on the Grenadine Island. Bino noted his feelings to SVG-TV News about yesterday's meeting held with members of the CIDC and Director of Grenadine Affairs, Edwin Snag, and Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of National Security, Godfrey Pompey. He added that initially it was agreed upon that only 4 persons would meet with members of the government, but when they requested that 2 other persons be involved in the meeting, he was disappointed that they were not allowed to sit in. The president of the Canouan Island Development Council believes this was a spiteful move by the government delegation.
So the 6 of us show up for this meeting yesterday, the 11th. I reported to the secretary at the desk that we are here to have a meeting with Mr. Pompey and Mr. Snag. And they called him, and he says he only expects 4 persons. I went into his office. I said, well, 6 of us from the committee is here. And the fact that you want to get a wide cross-section of persons from Canouan as to talk on these issues, the 6 of us is here from the committee, and he says he don't want any argument. He's only accommodating 4 persons, which I told the other 5 members when I get back outside that let us just leave, because I find it is spiteful and a bit disrespectful. They, however, said to me, seeing that we're here, let us do the paperwork, and agreed on the 4 that went in to sit with the PS in National Security and Director of Grenadine Affairs.
As it relates to the shuttle bus service that the investors have proposed to give residents access to the beach, Bino says this is not giving the public their right to proper access.
I said no. This is a favor. We're not asking a favor. We're asking public access, which is our right by law. He didn't want to hear that. I also presented a map in which I draw about the beaches in the area, which is Goodall, Carnage, and Twin Bay. I said the government sold 40 acres in Twin Bay. It's not yet developed. There is a driving road to that beach. Why don't we just put a parking lot down on that beach where persons can park, and let us use a boardwalk from Twin Bay Beach above the rock level going around into Goodall, and then we can do the same from Goodall to Carnage. So persons wouldn't have to drive down into the center of the resort, but would be able to access these beaches from Twin Bay by via a boardwalk, which might be the width of a golf cart. It wouldn't make it as wide that vehicles can drive on. So if you have your picnic basket and other loads, the golf cart can take it and persons can walk.
The community activist also highlighted that there needs to be a permanent solution to the issue and proposed a boardwalk which interconnects beaches and allows both locals and visitors to explore the island. He, however, expressed his disappointment when his plan was rejected at yesterday's meeting.
If the investor had came up with that plan of a boardwalk, then obviously I sure the PS would have said it's a marvelous idea and put it out to the public. Maybe it's because it's coming from a person like me. It's not a good idea. We also see the boardwalk as an enhancement for the resort. Passing guests who are not able to go into the resort will be able to use the boardwalk and see the marvelous project for what it is from the outside of the beach side. We see it as a way where tourists can get married on the boardwalk. We see it as a way where the local steel pan can play music on the boardwalk at moonlight. Persons can take their family, have an enjoyable walk, maybe throw out a fishing line with the siblings and have a good time. Locals would be able to sell in the parking lot while people walk on the boardwalk and the steel pan play the little music.
SVG-TV News contacted Permanent Secretary Godfrey Pompey and outlined the complaints made by Bino. In addressing the issue where Bino complained of being slighted and not being able to include other members of his council, Pompey says Bino was the one who was disrespectful by not following clear directives that were already agreed upon.
The ministry will provide board passes on the fast ferry to and from Canawan and lunch. Grateful you provide the names of your delegation, up to 4 members from the CIDC, along with the agenda to facilitate the discussion. That is quite clear. But yesterday, my secretary informed me that Mr. Bino and 6 persons, well, 5 other persons were outside awaiting the meeting. I indicated to her that she should inform Mr. Bino that I will only accommodate 4 persons as previously indicated. I don't think there's any difficulty in understanding that. So based on that, we proceeded to accommodate 4 persons. I don't know what he did with the others, but that was our position. So Mr. Bino has to learn to respect and follow clear directives.
As it relates to the shuttle service, PS Pompey says it is a workable solution that provides access and ensures safety measures for all involved.
And for security and privacy, these things must be maintained. So to have order, the developers are requesting, because we met with the developers, Snag and myself, last Friday, the 8th in Canawan. And they agreed to this position. We also met with the business community on Canawan that same Friday. And they have the same view that the shuttle service is workable. Because one has to understand, when the hotel is full, when there are guests, things must be done decently and in order. And if the developers are prepared to provide transport, be it a bus or golf car to take you to the beach, one has to appreciate and that they're bending backwards to accommodate the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And I don't see any difficulty, nor the business community in Canawan see any difficulty with this arrangement.
The permanent secretary further stated that development is serious business and that the rough draft brought by Bino as the president of the CIDC to have a boardwalk needed to be more realistic.
Provided a little sketch as a solution to beach access on Canawan. We indicated that it's not a solution, it's an idea, and it has to have input from other stakeholders, plus engineering work must be done. Moreover, who's going to meet the cost of this elaborate undertaking? It's a costly exercise, so one has to be reasonable and realistic with these demands.
A one-day symposium was held here yesterday for trainees under the Youth Empowerment Services Program, aimed at improving their skills to assist them in finding permanent employment. The symposium focused on the topics of punctuality, work attire, job letter writing, money management, ICT, and youth. Minister of Youth Frederick Stevenson says that he is happy his government was able to conceptualize and implement the YES program with the assistance of Taiwan, since it provides young people with a means to provide for themselves and their families, as well as an alternative to a life of crime and unemployment. Stevenson further outlined the mandate of the Ministry of National Mobilization's Youth Affairs Division to create opportunities to improve the quality of life for all youth in SVG while promoting their general development and ensuring their full participation in nation building. Additionally, the Youth Minister says the YES program provides a bridge for many youth who have no experience in the world of work, while at the same time allowing the participants to contribute to the national development frame of the country through the various sectors.
Imperative to the further development of youth in St. Vincent and the Grenadines is this program, the YES program. The continuation of this program will ensure that idleness, dependency, and poverty are minimized and even eliminated. The impact of being inexperienced will be lessened as more youth will gain some experience in the world of work, thus making them more marketable for the real-world job market while they provide for themselves a livelihood. And if I may say, that in some families, the stipend from the YES program It's the only source of income.
Stevenson adds that the YES program continues to provide on-the-job attachment experience in a number of fields, mainly in education, secretarial duties, clerical and sports, early childhood development, among many others. He, however, says that with regard to the enrollment, the females outnumber their male counterparts at a ratio of approximately 3 to 1. The minister concludes that more must be done to get more young men on the program.
The main objectives of these types of initiatives augurs well for the development of new markets, new product, and new investment in the local product. The main objectives of the program is to promote the development of youth human capital in small business development and associated training. Additionally, this initiative will assist youth from disadvantaged communities to have enriched opportunities to enhance their social and economic status in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. The vision of my ministry for the next 2 years is to create additional training component for persons who are unemployed and may not have been provided with a chance to be on a regular rollout of the YES program, but who have a desire to become self-employed through offering skills or services.
The minister also urges the participants to take full advantage of all the opportunities available to them under the program.
Your young people growing up in a world where the challenges are there, but we are putting things in place to help you advance and to develop. And we want to encourage you to do so and grasp all the opportunities that are available to you to advance and develop. We have to continue to advance the development of those who want to get on the program with their 3 and their non-CXCs to help them, to bring them up and to empower them to where we want them to be and to go.
Taiwan Ambassador to SVG, His Excellency Bashan Gur, told the YES program trainees that employment and decent jobs are not to be taken for granted. He said his government is proud to be a part of the funding of this program since its inception in 2001. To date, more than 50 million EC dollars is said to have been invested in the program for the training and empowerment of the young people of SVG. Ambassador Gur congratulated the government of SVG for initiating the program so that young people are given the opportunity to gain valuable work experience right after leaving school. He further commended the minister responsible for youth, Frederick Stevenson, and his ministry for the successful execution of the program.
This is exactly what the YES program is about, providing the skills the young people need for their future career. In Taiwan, we have a saying. We say that it takes 10 years to grow a tree, but it takes 100 years to lay a solid foundation for nurturing and educating young generations. YES program actually serves as a solid foundation, helping the young people of this country for their future. The Republic of China Taiwan is proud to be the partner for YES program for many years. I'm happy to learn that with the funding, more than 7,000 young people have benefited from this project over the years. Taiwan is also an advocate of inclusive and quality education for all, another development goal of the United Nations.
The ambassador invited the trainees to apply for scholarships being offered by his country, Taiwan, as this will help in positioning them for the job market with advanced skills and the required knowledge that employers are looking for in their employees.
Every year, Taiwan allocated $100,000 to help those students who are financially challenged in the primary, secondary, and tertiary schools. Since 1998, more than 6,000 Vincentian students have benefited from this program. Furthermore, at Prime Minister Gongsal's initiative starting from 2004, Taiwan has been inviting outstanding Vincentian students, as well as students from our other diplomatic allies to pursue higher education in Taiwan under 2 scholarship programs. Now over 110 students have been awarded the scholarships. Currently, there are more than 60 young Vincentians living and studying in Taiwan. As I understand, they all study very hard for their degree.
As the St. Vincent Grammar School continues to mourn the loss of fellow student Akili Latham, who drowned on Saturday while on a school trip to Bequia, SVG Television caught up with members of the Latham family who, while holding back tears, pointed out that Akili was a hardworking, honest, caring young man with a deep love for Christ and his family.
Akili Latham, my brother, was very friendly, helpful at home, at church, at school. Outspoken, loved to interact with others. Caring, kind was him to people and animals. The younger boys tell them wrong from right, and he was not afraid to tell them when they're wrong or right. God-fearing, he loved God. He would always speak about him. He always said that whenever his time come, he would go to heaven, and he would always encourage others.
He's one of the person. Sometimes I sit down and wonder, how does he make it? Because he had a lot of work to do. He had assignment, homework. He still find the time to read his Bible and go to Bible study. He was a really good person, and he tried every day to be a better Christian. And most recently, he didn't get to interact that much because he had to go to classes, and he usually come home late and still have to do homework and thing.
Right, so generally he was a good brother and you miss him?
Yeah, I miss him a lot.
He is my 4th child, last of the 4 children. He was cannot explain his characteristics. He was loving, helpful, selfless, very optimistic. He will stand in the gap to help anybody. Once there's a need, he will help. If he has to stand alone for the truth, he will do that. If a child is hurting, if a student is hurting and being harassed or mocked, he will not join in. Knowing my son, he believed in God, he was excited. I know he wasn't preparing for death, I wasn't preparing for death either. And there must be a reason. It's very sad, it's hard. My strength I am drawing from the Word of God and the church, people in the community, good friends. God is on our side, and that is what is keeping us.
In more local news, not enough is being done to advise students on careers and the subjects they should be taking to properly prepare for their future. Speaking at the recently held National Awards Ceremony for recognition and celebration of students' achievements in the May-June 2015 CSEC and CPEA examinations, Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves says that students are usually ill-advised to do the subjects which they got grade 1s for and sometimes have to do a preliminary year at university. Dr. Gonsalves says that this extra year could cost approximately $50,000 while the same subjects could be done at the community college.
Because they say, listen, you got 1 for those, you only got a 2 for, or maybe a 3 for the math. Well, what do you want to do? If you want to do medicine, you got to do the biology, you got to do the chemistry, and you got to do the mathematics. Sometimes they're told, well, you can do a preliminary year of university in those things. Yes, of course. But that's an additional year. And there's a thing called money. It's going to cost you $50,000 because if you're going to do a preliminary year in medicine, for instance, you haven't gone through the community college. The government is not going to help you because we have an institution where you can get your your preliminary, your entry qualifications directly to go to the university.
The Prime Minister further stressed that the secondary schools and the community college must be able to provide students with the proper career guidance information the students need to make informed decisions about their future. According to Dr. Gonsalves, it is disheartening to know that without the proper advice and information, students are set back from their goals for not having made better decisions.
Many years ago, before most of you were born, I used to teach at the university. So I understand the system. And as the Minister of Finance, I understand the costs, and you have to link what you're doing to what is the cost, because the university, though we give the assistance, we give assistance within a framework, and there's lots of assistance, but one thing you're not going to get is to go to do a preliminary year when you can get that education here. So it's important that the secondary schools and the community college get a lot of information on these things and impart them.
The Prime Minister further noted the system cannot be what he terms as one that hits and misses in reference to career and subject choices. He urged students to do their research and seek proper advice.
Just go online and see a school and say, I like that school, I want to go there. Talk to people. There are a lot of people around who know about these schools. Talk to your teachers, and teachers, take time out with them. You know, those are some practical issues, and I want to say this. We have to, there are lots of scholarships going, but you don't get a scholarship unless you're in a competitive situation. Some people will meet me, they say, I want a scholarship to go to university. I say scholarships are competitive. You have to compete with other people.
Students of the North Union Secondary School are currently benefiting from a week of activities designed to sensitize them on the various opportunities available in the business community, as well as stimulate their personal development. Earlier today, a career fair was held at the school where artists, musicians, as well as members of the police force mounted booths displaying various items relating to their trade. Speaking with SVG-TV News, Deputy Principal Surti Ramsamouj says the career fair targets students from Forms 4 and 5 and is confident that the presentations made will inspire the students to develop their skills for future benefit.
This week of activities is a good exposure for our students, for we know that for any country to succeed or any company to succeed, they must be well trained in the field of business. Today being Tuesday, we have our career fair where we have booths from all across the St. Vincent and the Grenadines. The students, the Form 4 and 4-5 students are the ones who we target in this career fair. It runs from 9 to 12. So indeed, this business week of 2016, a window of opportunities, is a week that is packed with lots of events so that it would help the development of our students here at North Union Secondary School.
Ramsamouj says the students' response to the career fair has been excellent, and he is hoping it will leave a lasting impression on them.
Oh, the students are very excited. You know, they went to all the different booths and they were asking lots of questions, and especially they love the one with the policeman. I don't know if they want to become policemen and policewomen. And also I've seen the music department and the fashion department. The students are all excited, and we're glad that we gave them, according to our theme, a window of opportunity for them to see this.
Our news team used the opportunity to speak with some of the persons who had presentations at the career fair. They explained the significance of their displays as well as the response they received from the students.
The career fair is a good exposure for our students, for we know that for any country to succeed or any company to succeed, they must be well trained in the field of business.
For any country to succeed, they must be able to provide students with the proper career guidance information the students need to make informed decisions about their future.
The children, the students would be inspired to probably take up music or an instrument and start learning. This is not to say that you have to learn an instrument in order to be involved in music. There are many different careers you can take up in music. There's music production, there is singer, songwriting, there is arranging, there is music in health therapy, many different areas. So I'm hoping to mention a few of these to the students so that they can get some inspiration to participate in music as a career.
And I'm here, step by step taking this process along and coming here today just showcasing some of the things that I made and telling the students about what it's like to be a seamstress and if they're aspiring to become a seamstress. They seem so excited and love the clothing and so on, and I believe some of them they're seamstress in making, right?
I brought along a few of my paintings. I do oil paintings on canvas, and I also convert some of my paintings to postcards showing how you can take your hobby, or if you have a product, how you can convert it to a little business, a business concept. Because they have asked a lot of questions and they were quite impressed with the presentation. For example, I was explaining a little business concept. With my artwork, I might not sell the paintings, but I can rent the paintings to offices for a small fee, and the office can benefit if the painting gets sold while hanging in the establishment. So they get their office decorated and they get some benefits if the painting is sold.
Our presentation was basically on identifying drug and drug abuse and how to identify the subtle way in which we abuse certain drugs that we are not too familiar with. Okay, we had a good response from the students, which they participated very well. Some of them are highly educated as to the type of drugs that affect their community, the different ways in which they can identify drug abusers, drug users, and persons who actually sell these illicit drugs. Okay, I can safely say that it had a positive impact on them. Okay, and you can see that based on the interaction, you can see that some of them would take home, or most of them for that matter, would take home the information that they were given today, and they would actually use it to benefit them on a whole.
The other activities which will take place this week include a seminar tomorrow for Form 3 students to aid them in selecting the area of study that they will choose, an inter-class tournament in which students will create a product and try to sell it to the general public, and a fashion extravaganza highlighting talent in the design of Caribbean wear. And on Friday, teachers and some students will switch roles, giving students the opportunity to teach their class and experience teaching firsthand.